I'm joined with manager Warren Feeney after a very impressive 4-0 victory over Slough Town. That's more like it, Warren, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I don't think we've been bad. Last week at Chippenham, I was disappointed because we dominated the game and we got done by one ball, which you said. And that's a frustrating point, but we reacted on Tuesday night. Went and got a bit of silverware, which is pleasing, but I said to the boys the challenge is to carry it on, and look, I said finish as hard as we can right to the end. I'm not one for giving up, but it just frustrates me because we've got good players in there, and I said to the players you shouldn't be where you are, but we are. And as I said, that's the frustrating thing, but sometimes, you know, I've said this, places need to reset, and you know, they're a good bunch on their day, and you can see, you know, we'll play with a wee bit of passion today, a wee bit of aggressiveness, and as I said, it's always pleasing.
Four of the past 5 home results have been a 2-1 victory, a 4-1 victory, a 4-0 victory, and now 4-0. With the cup win as well on Tuesday, is that giving you real signs that we can now push next season?
Yeah, 100%. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not here to talk about, you know, stuff that's been on in the past, but you know, you've got to win your home games. I said that to give yourselves a chance, and that was one of the first when it come in to try and get the home win. And obviously, I think it was 316 days, was it, before they'd won at home. And so doing my homework, but also, you know, goals, weren't scoring enough goals and goals, you know, before the 70th minute. So you know, you have a few things to get going, but you know, we've got to make us a fortress. And as I said, the fans again today were brilliant, and the Slough fans, was a good atmosphere. But it's always pleasing to put a show on front of our fans, because you know, since I've been in, they've been fantastic. And as I said, it's always nice to get a win.
Another goal today for Malachi Linton. As a forward yourself, that's got to be pleasing to start getting the best out of a player like that.
You know what, Mal's got to start believing how good he can be. You know, he can be the best striker in this league if he wants to be. He's a handful, he's got pace. And you know, I said to him after, your finish was a great finish. You know, Goody put a ball in the box, but a mistake's made, but that's a striker's instinct to go and finish with his left foot. And you can see it's his all-round play, but as well, he's up there, and you know, he's battling, he's making things happen, and no, it was a real striker's performance today, a number 9, an old-fashioned number 9, which is pleasing.
And you talk about more goals, 4 different goal scorers today. That's got to be pleasing as well, right?
No, look, it is. At the end of the day, I said this: goals win games, but the big thing for me is a clean sheet as well. You know, I said last week, I love. As much as I was a striker myself, I love defenders defending. I thought we defended brilliant today, because you know, it's difficult defending the big side corners and the throw, but we stood tall against it, and I was pleased with it, but also to get 4 different goal scorers. You know, it's always pleasing. Boys getting in at the back post, I said, just putting balls in the box. You've got to make people defend, and it's always nice.
And finally, a clean sheet for Lloyd Thomas. Again, that's got to be pleasing, hasn't it?
No, you know what, I'm delighted for Lloyd, because obviously when it come in, it's difficult. Bruce, he's been doing very well. Flip me, seagulls, I think vampires. He's done very well, but it's pleasing. The big man, he's got his head in. I'm delighted for him, because he's come and collected things, you know, and he's been patient, and I'm really pleased. But also for some of the young boys again, Kelson got on, but also Will got his debut today, and he's been chomping at the bit with me, and I wanted to put a lot more of the kids on Tuesday night, but obviously with the circumstances. But you know, look, it's good here. The future's looking good, and as I said, if the kids are good enough, I'll find them in.
Warren, thank you very much.